Thank you, Renato, for a wonderful welcome. This is the 9th China Business Summit, and it is brought to you by NZ Inc. and the Auckland Business Chamber. And today's summit revolves around the theme Reconnecting with a Changing China, which speaks to the significant milestone we achieved this year, the long-awaited reconnection of our two countries after almost 3 years of closed borders. It symbolises a new era of collaboration and opportunity. It also acknowledges the rapid transformation that continues to take place in China. The country has undergone remarkable change even during the border closure, and it is clear that business must adapt to navigate these changes and succeed. Can I take a moment to welcome the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Chris Hipkins, who has just returned from the Free Trade Agreement signing and NATO summit in Europe, and just before that, led the first government mission to China since 2019. We're delighted to have you with us today, Prime Minister. I'd also like to welcome the Minister for Trade and Export Growth, the Honourable Damien O'Connor, Australia's Assistant Minister for Trade, Senator Tim Ayres. Welcome also to Chinese Ambassador Wang Xiaolong, and former ministers, MPs, and all distinguished guests, especially those that have travelled from overseas to be here today. We're really pleased to have you in the room with us. No mai, haere mai, welcome everyone. I do want to pause for just a moment to acknowledge the sponsors of the China Business Summit, because of course without them today would not be possible. So thank you very much to our platinum sponsors, ANZ, Air New Zealand, Fonterra, New Zealand Foreign Affairs and Trade, and New Zealand Trade and Enterprise. And also to our sponsors, Silver Fern Farms, Zespri, the Asia New Zealand Foundation, New Zealand Māori Tourism, and Convita. Thank you to all. And of course, thank you also to our supporting organisations, which are on the screen behind me. At the end of today's summit, as has become tradition, Air New Zealand will give away 2 return flights to Shanghai. The most exciting part of that is that this year, the winners will be able to take up those flights immediately. We also have 3 vouchers to give away from Silver Fern Farms for a selection of their top shelf products, so do stick around for those. Of course, the rule that I always instigate is that you have to be here in order to win the draw, so make sure you're not that person that slips out early and misses out. Now, just before we begin formal proceedings, I do have a couple of quick housekeeping points, and since we do have some visitors from overseas that probably haven't been to the Cordis before, I am going to run through these. So, bathrooms are located out the doors behind you and to the right of the pre-function area. The Cordis is a no smoking, no vaping venue, but there is undercover smoking outside the City Road entrance. If the fire alarm sounds, we will be escorted to the nearest fire exit by staff, which are indicated by the green exit signs. And throughout the day, we encourage you to ask questions and participate in the discussion by submitting anything you'd like to say through the Slido platform. Details to access Slido are on the screens throughout the day, and they're also on your tables. The hashtag for Slido and all social media is CBS23. There will also be plenty of opportunity to take comments and questions from the floor, so please, if you'd like to do that at the appropriate time, raise your hand and a microphone will make its way to you. So with all of that out of the way, I'm going to hand over to Fran O'Sullivan, who along with Simon Bridges are our 2 co-chairs for today's summit. Thank you very much, Fran.